I remember as a child walking through the woods with my mother. She so loved nature and spoke of it in magical words that stirred something inside of my heart. Through her, I first heard the spirits of the earth talking to me, but I did not understand what they were saying. I walked over 4 continents. I felt the earth's heartbeat and heard her whispers. With each step, I longed to understand her language. Then one day, in the forests of the Pacific Northwest, an ancient yet familiar voice spoke to me in profound and sacred words. Words from my mother, my ancestors, from the earth herself. They were the words of Chief Seattle.
Our bare feet are conscious of this sympathetic touch, for the soil is rich with the life of our kindred.
Chief Seattle was a 19th century leader of the Suquamish tribe in what is now the state of Washington. His historic speech of 1854 is considered to be one of the greatest statements ever made concerning the relationship between a people and the earth.
Every part of this country is sacred. Every hillside, every valley, every plain and grove, even the rocks, and the very dust under your feet.
His words brought me to Port Madison Indian Reservation on the banks of Puget Sound. There I sought out his descendants to see if they follow in his footsteps. My path led me to poet and advocate Aggie Pratt.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Well, welcome to Suquamish Clearwater Casino Resort.
I come from a family that has lived here forever, you know. My great-great-grandfather was Salmon Bay Curley. He was a sub-chief under Chief Seattle, and he was one of Chief Seattle's friends. The meaning of his words hasn't changed. It's set down by spirit. It's set down by his vision. It's set down by what he wanted for his people. That hasn't changed. We are still part of the earth. We are still belong to the earth. The earth does not belong to us. And that's what he was trying to get across, what he was saying in his words. We are all connected. This air, this water, this earth, we are connected to it. It's not something we come in to dominate. We have an agreement with all these things. They're kind to us. And if we are kind back, then we receive the benefits of that. The things that have changed is that people have wandered away from that idea of sacredness, that sacred connection, that spiritual connection with the land, with the people, with the air that we breathe. There is an urgency now of taking care of matters. And that's our responsibility. We can't just float along the top and say, well, I'm just going to move along and wait and see what happens. Like the Hopis say, it's no longer the 11th hour. The 11th hour isn't coming. This is the 11th hour. This is the time. Be kind to your environment. Understand what that environment does for you. Understand what Mother Earth is doing for you. I don't want fear in my diet. No. I want the sunlight. I want God's creation in my life. And I want that for my people too, to understand that, you know, you're sitting in the sunlight and it's blessing you. It's telling you you're alive, you know, and you have an agreement with it. It cares about you just as much as you care about it. And that's what I mean when the animals and the plant life, they made an agreement with us. And they're holding up their agreement. And where are we in that agreement?